Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and I just got back from the Vancouver IMATS this weekend and I wanted to just go through all the stuff that I got there. I flew there from Dallas, Texas and now I'm back. Probably a lot of y'all are like, why did you go all the way to Vancouver just to go to the IMATS? Well, I actually have family that's staying in Vancouver, so it was nice to be able to see them and then also to go to the IMATS. So it was actually really fun. If anybody is interested in going, I would probably suggest going to one that's in the States, like New York or LA. The Vancouver one was a lot smaller than I had thought it would be. Not a whole lot of vendors that I recognized, and the ones that I did recognize, like some of them were really big and some of them were smaller. Like the Morphe brushes had the biggest table of them all. And then other ones like Lit Cosmetics had a very small table, and Makeup Forever had kind of like a medium-sized table, but considering how many people were interested in certain brands, they definitely should have had a little, like, either a bigger table or a better way to organize the whole event, because there were quite a few issues with some of the brands. But I'll get into that while I'm going through the products. So I'll go ahead and start up. Go ahead and start with this one. I actually got this one from the Royal and Langnickel brushes. They were the sponsors of the event, and this is actually for my coworker. She really wanted a makeup brush set, and I thought that this was the best one to get, the best deal. Like I said before, Morphe brushes was there, but the way that they were pricing their products wasn't fair to Americans or Canadians using credit card, so it was just better for me to purchase brushes from a different company because I'd be getting a better deal and they weren't like secretly charging me a different amount. And I'll get into that a little bit later. I don't want to start off talking about that business. Alright, so I got one of the empty Makeup Forever palettes, and this is in the medium size, and it's actually a really good one. So it holds 12 of the large Makeup Forever pans, or 2 of the Suva Beauty palettes. I actually put in my own Suva Beauty palettes that I got there at the IMATS. This one is the Neutral Necessities, and this one is the Hustle. Hustle is all kind of metallic-y shades. You can kind of see it there, and then the Neutral Necessities, they are all matte, with 2 of the little pops of colors there. And I really like these ones. They're a Canada-based company. They're in Surrey, British Columbia, and I absolutely love their products. Alrighty. And now this was actually the case that the Suva Beauty palette came in, but since I took out the Suva Beauty pans, I ended up putting some Morphe pans in there since they fit the same way. These are the larger Morphe ones. And these are all duochrome, iridescent, whatever you want to call it. They're all larger and they're very pigmented, and I do like them quite a bit. And these ones are probably the only reason why I ended up actually purchasing anything from Morphe, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten anything. Alright, now on to the next one. Alrighty, this is something that I've actually been looking forward to for quite a long time. This is the Brow Pro palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and some of y'all might know it actually has every single color that they currently offer from the Anastasia collection of brow powders. I've been looking at this for a long time, and Friends Beauty from California was at the IMATS and they happened to be carrying this, so I grabbed it as quickly as I could. I'm very happy with that one. And while I was there at the Friends Beauty booth, I ended up getting this palette here. And then this, I'm sure many of y'all know this one. This is the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. And I was actually really surprised with this one, because this is a lot more buttery than I had thought that it would be. You know, I've never tried any of the Violet Voss shadows or anything, so usually I anticipate them being chalky, and this was basically like butter. It was very nice, and I can definitely see myself using it. The only downside is that a lot of the shades in there end up looking a lot like the Suva Beauty ones, But on the bright side, whenever I run out of these ones or whenever I run out of the super ones, I have the other one to use. Figure that out later. Put that back in the bag. Alrighty. Alrighty, on to the next one. This is from Krylon, and it's a nice, it's like a mini little foundation set. These are very pigmented, and I'm not entirely sure how long they'll last because they're, you know, they're not very deep. They're pretty small, you know, that's my finger, so, you know, you can tell how small it is. It's like about the size of a nickel, or a dime. There you go. But I like that it has almost the full color range. You know, you can go from the lightest skin tone all the way down to pretty deep skin tone. So I really like that it has that option. In case I end up doing anybody else and they don't bring foundation of their own. Alright. And so I did stop at the Ben 9 table. I didn't end up getting anything from them because the one thing that I wanted they were sold out of because I went back there on the second day and everybody had picked it up already. But they did have a few little freebies, so I picked up a few of these little, they're like sample foundation pots. And I picked up some in a few different colors just because I'll be doing various people's makeup over the next semester, and it'll just be good for me to have a variety of skin tones. And while I was there, they were handing out these lip color palettes, and they said that they were contour, blush, and whatever. And I really liked this one quite a bit. And this is the only one that they were giving out. You know, they're interchangeable, so I can take it out and put a new one in if I wanted to. I thought that was pretty cool. They're like, here, do you want a sample? I'm like, sure, I'll take it. It's free. Whatever. Alright, and then I stopped at the Kaylin booth, and I had seen this brand on Instagram quite a bit. They always had really good colors. I just never was really interested in buying from them because I wasn't able to like see them in person and touch them. And I ended up buying this color, which I probably would not have bought if I was buying it directly from the site. And it's the Extreme Matte Tint. It's the Pure Lust collection. And you probably can't really tell, but it is a little bit metallic-y. And it's like a red with a gold metallic. And it's number 47 or swayable. They are extremely drying. I had it on my lips and I didn't apply it very well. They gave me like a half of a Q-tip to put them on, so I wasn't, you know, they didn't give me a doe foot, so I couldn't really go at it, and I wasn't sure if they were moisturizing or drying, so I couldn't put a chapstick over it, and I also didn't have a lip liner, so, you know, the things that I normally do to make my lipstick stay, I didn't have any of that, and the things to make it comfortable, I didn't have any of that. I just put it on, and you know, here I thought I would be able to take it off after I bought it. They stay very well. I had a few swatches on my hand of this line, and they wouldn't come off with makeup remover cloths at all. So I ended up having to put like some oily crap on my hand and letting it sit, and then finally like scrubbing it off, and it came off. So if you're looking for something that stays really well, go for this. Just know that it is pretty drying. You'll need like chapstick or something over top of it, but it does stay. I also ended up getting one of their lip liners, and this one was only about $3 because this is like a regular pencil, and I guess this one isn't one of their like super long staying pencils. And it's nice because it's a good, like a deep berry color that goes with the lipstick that I got. So it was just nice to be able to find something from the brand that I could pair with another thing from the brand. And then while I was also there, I discovered this absolutely wonderful makeup remover. Now, I have a makeup eraser cloth. I love that cloth. However, there are some things that I wear, like my eyeliner today, that don't really come off very easily with the makeup remover cloth. It is supposed to take off everything, including the waterproof stuff, but there's just some makeup brands that stay a lot better than others. And I discovered this, which I'm really glad I got it. It's called Dissolve It, and it's like almost like a cream. It's not quite a liquid, but whenever you start to rub it in, it turns kind of into a liquidy form, almost like an oil, but it's not oily. So I have very normal skin. I don't really break out. I don't get dry or anything. And my first thought whenever I saw this was, it's going to make my skin so oily. And I tried it on my hand. I tried it all up my arm whenever I had like some eyeshadow swatches all the way up my arm. And I tried it and I loved it. And I bought the biggest one they had because I'm like, I'm gonna use this. And I ended up liking this a whole lot more than the Makeup Forever Scentsy Eyes that I usually use to get off the really hard stuff. I end up liking this more because it's a lot easier to control than the liquid Scentsy Eyes. Now, still gonna buy that Scentsy Eyes because it is amazing, but this is definitely an amazing one to get if you're looking for a good makeup remover that gets everything off. This is it, for sure. Alright, then I just got this other little sample from Dermalogica. They were there, they were selling a few things, and they're like, here, have a sample. There's that. So I got this Makeup Forever Artist Rouge lip palette in number 1. So the reason why I ended up getting this, there was a little bit of an issue at the Friends Beauty counter. Now, it is their fault, but not their fault. It was very, very busy there. So what you basically had to do was you went up to their table and you had to push through the line that was formed for payment so you could tell one of the associates there that you wanted, you know, XYZ, you know, you wanted whatever. You had to push through all these people to just tell someone to put your name on a bucket and put your stuff in the bucket. So I told this girl, who was very, very nice, very sweet, and I told her, you know, this is what I wanted. And I got in line. I was waiting in line for maybe an hour, and I get up there, I pay, and I don't check my stuff because I just assume it's the correct thing. You know, I see that I have the Violet Voss palette, I see that I have the Anastasia palette, and I see that I have a Vizart palette, and it all looks correct. So I don't think about it. 2 hours later, I open it up to show my folks that, you know, hey, look at this palette I got, you know, look how awesome this is. And I open it up, and I realize that my Vizart palette, or Viziart, whatever you want to call it, I realized that it's the wrong palette. No big deal. A lot of people, you know, it had happened to a few other people at some other booths as well. You know, there's so many people at the IMATS since it is a public convention. And so I go back over there and I just say, hey, this is the wrong palette. And they tell me that the correct palette is out of stock. So I ended up getting my money back for it because, you know, I'm not going to keep a palette that I didn't even want in the first place. So it was just kind of disappointing. I wasn't able to get that palette. But at the next table over was Makeup Forever, and I ended up getting this lip palette. It does have a lot less lip colors, but, you know, that's okay. I'll still use it, and I still enjoy these colors. They're really good, you know, good variety. You know, I might not use this hot pink one as much as I will use the red ones, but it's really pretty. It's really versatile, and I really like it. So there's that. And then I also ended up getting the Water Blend Makeup Forever foundation. Now, I was a little bit confused by their signage that they had for this foundation, because they had a sign that said 50% off HD foundations, and my mind processed that as 50% off of foundations. So, my mom and I picked out 5 foundations, because you had to do a minimum purchase of 5 foundations to get the 50% off. And we thought it was 50% off the listed price that was there. What it actually was that the foundations were already 40% off, so then you only got an additional 10% off. But it wasn't clearly said as that. So a lot of people were going around the event saying, Makeup Forever has 5 foundations for $75. And so we're all like, that is an amazing deal, and we pick out 5 foundations and we find out it's actually only the HD foundations, and they're about $150, $135, something like that. But, so we didn't end up getting 5. I got the 1. I've never tried it before, but it blended really well with my skin. I mean, in this video, it looks awful because I'm so red right now. It's very hot, currently in Texas, and it's like 100 degrees outside. But, so I got that, and that was great. Let's see here. So I got some other stuff from Suva Beauty. Oh, let's see if I can even open this without breaking the package. There we go. Okay, so I got their Hydra Cream Base in Pantyhose. And this is nice. It's just like a creamy little, like, almost like a concealer consistency. And it just goes on your eyelid, and it gives it just a really good base for the makeup to stick. You know, it can go anywhere, but, you know, mainly made for the eyelid. Then I also got another Hydro Cream base in the color Bank, which is just like starch white. Whew. And since I'm kind of a mix between those two colors, that's why I got it. Also because they were 50% off. You know, why not? 2 for 1. Then I got this Hydro Liner, and now this is really cool. This is also from Super Beauty. It is kind of like a metallic-y rosy gold, and it is called Rose Gold. I like these because so it's like a solid right now. And what you do is you add a little bit of water in there, and it turns it into like a cream almost. If you add a little bit more water in there, it can actually be used with an airbrush. I was just airbrush certified last month with Dinair, and airbrush makeup is very expensive. Now it does last for a long time, but it does cost a lot of money to get it. If you're buying just one, it's really expensive, and it's better price-wise to buy a whole set, but then you also have to have the money for the entire set. So I haven't really bought a whole set yet, only because I like to see the colors in person. Now I was able to see all the colors of the Dinair makeup in person, but they have over 100 colors, and it's kind of hard to remember which colors I liked. So I ended up getting this Hydro Liner because it can be used as a cream with regular makeup, or it can be used with my airbrush makeup. So I love Super Beauty for that little dual purpose makeup thing there. Let's see, what am I down to? Okay. And I also ended up getting the extra large empty palette from Makeup Forever. Now this is always sold out on Sephora, and every time it comes back in stock, it's out of stock again. It is awesome. Like, this is huge. Let me show you the difference between the medium one and this extra large one. It's crazy. It's huge. It's huge. And it was only like $9, so that's awesome. And I like that it's also metal, it's really sturdy and everything. Alright. So now down to the smaller things. Ooh. Alright, I stopped at the Lit Cosmetics counter, and I ended up getting 4 of these little things. What was nice is that since it was in Canada, it was kind of a pain in the ass for anybody to use their card because of the conversion and everything. So Lit Cosmetics had a deal where you buy 3 for $50, and if you use your card, you get another one for free. So I decided to do that. I got the colors Rhinestone Cowboy, Champagne Wishes, Seeing Stars, and Soul Sister. And it also came with this giant thing of their glitter glue. I don't even know what this is, but it's like a funky little, like, wand, like a mascara wand, I guess. I don't remember what they called it. I don't even know what to use this for, and if you know what to use this for, comment, please, because I don't know. And a brush for their glitter. You know, it just kind of looks like a fat lip brush. Then I also got some of these Aqua XL liners from Makeup Forever. This one is an M80. I'm actually wearing it today. It's kind of like a muted purple. And then I also got I-32 in the Aqua XL. Haven't opened this one yet, but it's like a metallic-y greenish blue color, like an aqua. And a lip pencil in 11C. This is the Aqua Lip, so this stays like crazy, and it's like a berry red almost. And then I went to the Jourdain Cosmetics counter. I'm not going to open this one because it's going to get everywhere. I got the Mineral Stardust powder, and this is, you actually get quite a bit of this. It was only like $10. You get a lot of it, and it's iridescent, so it shifts from like a whitish color to a reddish color, and the color is white red. How convenient. It's great. Then I also got this other eyeshadow from Jourdain Cosmetics, and it's a blue, but it also has a gold little shift to it. It's really hard to see in this video, but the color that's similar to this is actually Chameleon from, what's that brand called? Bare Minerals. I'm just not a fan of the Bare Minerals packaging. It's very hard to open and close. It almost kind of like creaks when you open it. And I ended up seeing that color while I was at Dillard's, and I loved it. And I stopped at every cosmetics counter trying to find a dupe for it because I didn't want to buy it with the awful creaking packaging. And I'm also just not a fan of the powder eyeshadows because I feel like you waste a lot of product with them. And as soon as I saw this color, I knew that it was an immediate dupe for it, and so I needed it. How to get that. Alright, so let's see, on to a few other things. I'll show you the little goodies that I got from there too. This is actually a charger. It's an IMATS charger. It's like a portable little charger for your phone. I got that, and it's nice because it's like a metal thing there. And then I got this pen that looks like a lipstick. You know, of course you need one of those. Who doesn't? Now lastly, and sadly, I'm on to Morphe brushes. Now I do have a little thing to say about that. I know a lot of people are fans of Morphe brushes, and by now a lot of people know that they buy private label and then they slap the Morphe brushes logo on there, so you can probably find another brand that has the 35 palette, the 35N or whatever it's called. You can find that same palette, you know, the one that's so highly sought after. You can find that from other companies because they buy from China, they slap the label on it, and they sell it for $25, $30, whatever. Well, I was there at Morphe brushes, just getting a few brushes and those eyeshadows that I showed you earlier, and we went up to the front, and they had a sign there that said, all credit card transactions are in US dollars. They can't do that because they're in Canada. You have to charge in Canadian dollars. That's just how it is. You know, you can't come to America and say I'm only going to take pesos. You just can't do that. You're in America. We got up there and we had a few things in our bag. I had the eyeshadows. I had a couple of brushes. These two here. This fat one. Let's go ahead and show you that. And this one is E42. And then the little buffer brush, E25. And we got up there and we put all the things on the counter and they're scanning them and they go, it's going to be around $75. What, I can't remember the exact number, but $75. And then my mom goes, okay, well, I want to pay the Canadian price, which is the $75, but I want to pay with US cash because that's what we had. And so the lady goes, well, we can't take US cash, but we can use a US card. And we're like, okay, that's fine, but I still want to do the Canadian amount. And she goes, okay, that's fine. And so she's about to swipe her card, but they don't do the conversion. So she's charging us $75 US for $75 amount of product in Canadian. Which, if you're aware of the conversion rate right now, $1 Canadian is about 75 cents US, so that is a big difference whenever you are spending a lot of money. And you can't sit there and say, I'm going to charge on par, which is a 1-for-1, unless it specifically says on the sign. And it didn't. It only said, all credit card transactions are in US. Okay, great, you can charge me in US, but you can't charge the US price the same as the Canadian price. So you can't charge $10 Canadian and $10 US because it ends up being a different amount in the end. Does that make sense? So we're sitting there and we're trying to explain to the cashier lady, you know, like, you can't do that. You have to convert it. All of the other booths were converting it. You have to convert. And this lady pops up out of nowhere. I never got her name, but she was an older she was an older redheaded lady. She pops up out of nowhere, and she starts yelling at my mom, saying, "No, ma'am, you can't do that. No, we're doing it the right way. This is just how we have to do it. You're holding up the line, you know, blah blah blah." And she said the reason why we're charging this much is because we have to get all the product here. What about all the other brands that are LA based or California based or whatever, and they also have to get the brands there? they don't overcharge people because they are paying with a US card. I mean, there is a fee, a conversion fee, but that's from your bank. That's not from Morphe brushes. That's not from Friends Beauty. That's not from Makeup Forever. That's something else. So this lady is going off, and then, you know, of course, my mom gets really mad, and she starts to record this lady saying everything that I just mentioned. And she takes a picture of the sign, and that says that it's in US dollars. So, you know, then my mom walks away because she's really mad, and that I'm still standing there, and I still want to get my stuff, you know, whatever. It's still cheap, but it, you know, it's really shitty of them to upcharge that much. And so I'm sitting there and I try to explain to the lady, this is why it's an issue, which is what I just said to y'all, is that you can't charge the same Canadian as American unless you factor in the conversion rate, which they aren't. Like, you can't charge $10 Canadian and $10 US just because you don't want to convert it. $10 Canadian is like $7.50 US. You have to charge it that way unless you say it's on par, which they didn't. So while I'm sitting there, the lady who was yelling at my mom comes over, and she goes, well, I'm going to throw in a few things for you. And they threw in this gel liner, which I'm never going to use. You know, whatever. And these makeup remover wipes, I guess. Green tea makeup remover wipes. Never going to use. I don't use that kind of crap. And I'm just like, look, I just want to get these brushes and the eyeshadows, and I just want to be done, but I need you to understand that you can't charge me like that. So the lady at the register goes, okay, I'm going to give you the 20% off pro discount. I'm like, okay, well, that's still not technically the conversion rate, but, you know, I'll take it, whatever. And I put my mom's stuff to the side that I wasn't going to buy. And then the angry lady comes back around, and she goes, well, what was your mom going to get? And I pointed to the things, and she goes, just go ahead and take them. I don't want you thinking that we're crooks. Like, well, you're still crooks considering that you were charging US for cards and Canadian for cash. Because think about it this way, if you are Canadian and you're buying from Morphe brushes at one of these events, and you pay $10. You pay $10 for a brush. So you can either do cash for $10, or if you don't have cash, if you don't have a card that's enabled at an ATM like me, then you have to use your card, and you pay $10 US, and then later you get home and you check your account, you are actually charged $12.50 for the brush because that's how the conversion rate goes, and you're charged a transaction fee on top of that because it was American dollars. So you were getting charged probably about 35% more on your card than you would be if you used cash. Now, some of you guys, like some of the Morphe diehard fans, are going to say, well, then just pay with cash. Some people can't do that. I didn't have a ATM-enabled card, so I wasn't even able to go to an ATM and pick and get the Canadian money. And when this happened, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the banks are closed, there's no way for me to get money at all, even if I wanted to get money. So it was just really shitty and shady of Morphe to charge it on par without saying we're charging it on par. If they had just had a sign out that said this is on par, if it's $10 Canadian, it's $10 US, if they had just had a sign out that way, it would be fine. But the fact that they were charging, they were even charging Canadians that were using their card in US dollars. You can't do that, and that was the issue. You have to have a Canadian account whenever you are selling in Canada. So you have to be able to accept Canadian money in more than just cash form. So that's just my little rant about Morphe brushes, and how shady that little instance was. So really quick, I'm just going to go over a few other things that I got. Now, these things I did not get at the IMATS, but I got in the days before and the days after IMATS, so I just wanted to show off those really quick. I ended up getting the Cover FX Enhancer Drops. This is in Moonlight, and oh man, is this gorgeous. Take a look at that. Oh man, you can't even see how pretty it is in the video, but it is literally liquid metal. It's amazing. Like, one drop and you're good. And I ended up getting the Tardiest with Makeup by Shayla. And I got this because I actually want to do makeup on people of color a whole lot more. And it is hard to do whenever you are like really pale, like I am, and you end up buying products for pale people because that's who you're always doing makeup on. So I ended up getting this one, which actually ends up being a really good palette for people of color. So I really, really like that one. Also, it smells great, and I've never had an issue with using Tarte products on people. You know, usually people break out with certain products if you use the wrong thing, but that one was actually very good. And then I also got the Tardiest Beauty Insider Reward from Sephora. You know, comes with a lipstick, lip liner, mascara. This is eyeliner, and then eyeliner brush. You know, it was worth it just for the brush. And then lastly, I just wanted to open up my Sephora Play box. I got it in the mail whenever I got back from Canada, and I was expecting to actually get it before I left, but it didn't come in on time, so you all get to see what they packed in here. Alright, let's see. Now a little card, little play card. And, ooh, that's a big one. So, wave spray, never gonna use that. That makes my hair feel awful. Oh, look, another one of these. I have like 3 of them and I never use them. Foundation primer. That thing I don't believe in. Just so y'all know, I don't believe in foundation primer. If you prep the skin right, you don't need foundation primer whatsoever. First Aid Beauty Facial Cleanser. Okay. Probably give that to a roommate or something. Oh, see, now that's a good one. I got another one of these as a gift from Sephora. I'm glad I got another. I'm glad I got 2 now. I don't have to buy some for a while. A fragrance that, again, I'm not gonna use. Okay, so there you have it. This month was kind of meh. That's okay. You know, you win some, you lose some. This one was just kind of a loss. Well, so that's it. Thanks if you guys stuck around for that whole little Morphe rant that I had there. And I hope you enjoyed the video of me just showing off the little goodies from IMATS. If you have a chance to go, if you are in a city that has one, definitely consider going. If you're not in a city that has one but you still really want to go, find one that's close by. Or go to like an LA one or a New York one, because those are going to have bigger brands. I know, I think that the LA one had Kat Von D. The list for Vancouver was a little bit shorter than I had anticipated, and it had a lot of kind of like unknown brands or brands that were like outrageously expensive. Even with the IMATS discount, there were some brands that didn't even offer an IMATS discount, so it was kind of like, why are you here if you're not going to offer the discount to these pro people? But overall, it was a really good experience. I got to see a lot of makeup artists on stage talking about their craft, and I got to learn a whole lot of things and take quite a bit of notes, and I met a few people from the Vancouver Film School and various other schools in the area, so it was really nice just to be able to meet these people and make connections. I would definitely recommend it for people, and in 2 months I'll be going to the makeup show in Dallas, and hopefully I'll be able to make another one of these videos for everybody. So, thank you for watching. Bye!